Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great post-work time, depending on what you do for a living. So this is Keith with Positively Osceola. Very special evening here as one of my favorite coaches in the county for sure, Coach Don Simon from Harmony Longhorns. How you doing?
Doing good.
Now, you chuckled when I said that.
Well, it's kind of, makes me feel good,
That's good. That's good. So I'm also going to say hello to Cole Harvey, who is to your right or left, depending on how you look at things. And then underneath that, we got Darren Davis, Sean Paul DeCoster. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. So you know what was cool about this particular thing? We didn't have any technical problems whatsoever tonight.
Smooth sailing.
That makes it easy. Cole, you want to kind of open it? Then we'll do our little official.
Yeah, we're just excited to have all you guys here, man. We appreciate you guys coming on, taking the time out of the time you had with your houses and away from the hot sun for a little while. But we're excited to just get into a little bit of football today.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Let's make it official right here. So like I said, I'm going to talk a little less tonight and ask Cole Harvey, who is our sports coordinator for Positively Osceola. But I'll say this. I am a big fan of summer. And that sounds like a dumb thing to say. It's pretty obvious. But I'm a big fan of summer. And so I know when summer ends, I look back and say, man, it just went like 100 miles an hour. How do we end up in August, And but then in like an hour, that all goes away. As soon as I step on a football field, I'm ready. I forget all about that. I'm just excited about games. A little different this year with COVID-19. So I'll turn it over to you, Cole. I'm excited to have you guys here.
Absolutely. I mean, first things first, Coach Simon. I mean, obviously, dream start, season, but I mean, just talk about some of the challenges you guys have worked through, given the obvious challenges of everything else, and then the challenge of just having a young group, kind of bringing them up, and how excited are you about the challenge?
Talking about COVID-19, I mean, that's created an abundance of challenges in itself. Just with the social distancing, not being able to be together like we always are and always have been. I'm a guy that likes to meet. My coaches meet, my players meet. These guys down here, they'll tell you during fall camp, we're meeting at least once or twice a day, depending on what we have going on. And we haven't been able to do any of that. When you add a young team in, it's kind of hard to get things in that you want to get in just while you're on the practice field and you're far apart. So there's a little bit more screaming and yelling. There's a little bit more of an intense look just trying to get things in that we would normally do in a classroom setting. So that's a big part of it. The good thing is I've got a great group. I've got a group that wants to work hard. They want to be successful and they want to win. So they're putting the time in on the field that we need to. It just looks a little bit different than it normally does.
That's awesome. Have you seen some of the things that you've been hoping to see, at least through some of the first few games and little spots here and there?
Little by little, we have. Our record doesn't look like what we've played. Unfortunately, again, with COVID-19, we had to play, some teams that we normally wouldn't. And we opened with Oviedo and played Lake Wales. They're two big powerhouse schools. Oviedo's a big powerhouse 8A school, and Lake Wales was 12-1 and 3 rounds deep in the playoffs last year. So Normally we wouldn't open with those guys. We would play them later in the season. But we felt that it was more important for our kids to play games than anything else. Yeah. So we were looking for bright spots in it, and we found them. We found some things with our offensive line, and Sean Paul down there on the bottom is a big part of that. We found some things with our defensive line that have been fixed over time, and Darren Davis down at the bottom is a big part of that. So we're seeing things that need to be fixed, and this group does a good job of fixing it. So I think we'll be back on track here pretty soon.
Yeah, you haven't played pushover teams by any means, so I mean, it's great to get those guys some experience too against some real deal teams that are out here, outside of the county, and see get some more experience, and that's what we like to see for the young teams, And obviously, we got two of the seniors here. I mean, Darren, I think first things first, I talk with you, man. I mean, obviously, we've talked about all the challenges that have been going on, man. As a player, how are you kind of trying to lock down and focus and kind of bring the other guys along with you? And kind of, what are you doing to try to cut everything else out and just focus?
You just can't worry about all the negative stuff that's going around. You just gotta focus on all the positive that's going on.
That's a huge thing, man, with the players. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like COVID, it just messed everything up. No one really likes wearing the mask, but you got to do it. You just gotta overcome your obstacles that's in your way.
How relieving is it for you, man, when you get in there and you're flipping on the film to watch some film and kind of get away from everything else, or stepping on the field and putting those pads on and throwing that helmet on when the game clock starts? How great is it to be able to kind of get away from everything that's happening outside?
It's amazing. It's such a relief.
I bet.
We all laugh on that one, but it's obvious, right? That's the whole deal.
Yeah, man, just finding something to kind of keep your mind off of it. But that's awesome that we have football to be able to go out there and find something to focus on and kind of work towards and just cut everything else out. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad. And I know it must be challenging with a lot of the young guys on the team that are looking up to both of you guys. And, Sean Paul, I mean, you're one of the guys up there on the front, you're in the trenches. And so, I mean, what are you kind of doing as one of the older guys too? What do you think needs to happen for you guys to go out there against Cypress Creek on Friday and kind of pull out the first W of the season?
First off, we need to – first I want to give hats off to our coaches because they have been dealing with a lot of rough teams and they've been giving us the right plays. We just have to work on aggression and – working on the drive to want to be out there and want to get our first dub.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the coaches, man. What are some of the things that they've been, the things that kind of stood out to you from your coaching staff?
Well, they're not all bark. They have a little bit of lighter sides to them. They like to goof around a little bit, have a little bit of fun on the field, just have everyone enjoy themselves. But they do get a lot of good work in, and they do. Try and change a little bit every week, add a little bit every week to improve us as a whole unit. And that is probably what's going to lead us to catching or getting more wins later in the season.
Have you found it any extra challenging, absorbing anything? Do you feel like you've had to do it faster than normal? I mean, you've been through this, a few years in a row. Has this year been different? How are you adjusting to it?
This year has been a little different. We haven't been closer together. We've been more spread out. We moved to a bigger field so we could be more spread out, but still have a good look on everything. We have my freshman year, we were all kind of grouped together, and it's definitely a lot different than it has been.
That's good, man. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you guys kind of pull together as the group there, and and looking forward to seeing you guys build on what you've started here, and just kind of continuing to see you guys rise through the moon and bringing Harmony to where you guys feel like you can be at.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So how's it felt? One thing we've noticed, obviously, this season. So the coaches have worked hard trying to get when things shifted and it looked like you're going to be able to get a season going. So obviously it was challenging. How do you put the schedule together? And like you said, you're playing teams you would not have normally played maybe at this time. And throughout the district, we've certainly seen where teams are away a little bit more than they might normally be in the beginning. So how does that work for you now that you're coming home? And it's still going to be different. Again, it's going to be different with different attendance levels and just the whole thing's different. Coach, so how do you feel do you think it's going to once the kickoff happens, you think it'll just revert to typical football? You're back at it again?
And it does. And one of the things that we've talked to the kids about is, we can't worry about what goes on around us. Right? We can't worry about attendance. We can't worry about who's in the stands and all of the extraneous issues that we have. When we're between the white lines, that's our job. We can't worry about all the the things that we can't control. You know, we control what we can. We control our effort in between the lines, and they've done a good job of that. You know, last week against Bishop Moore, Coach Hendricks, you know, he had nothing but great things to say about our kids and how hard they played, you know, for the whole game and, you know, every play here and there. And he likes playing us because of the way that we play. And that's just one of the things that we've been hanging our hat on. These guys are hard-nosed kids. You know, the wins will come, you know, but we take care of business in between the white lines and we'll be fine.
Nice. You know, what I was going to say, and Cole, I'll turn it back to you, is so I've been able to see you for years. You know, been out to a lot of the Harmony games. As my son's a Longhorn. I guess I say is a Longhorn. I guess once you're a Longhorn, you're always a Longhorn.
That's right.
And he'll be out Friday as well. So, but what I've noticed, Coach, is no matter whether the season's been, you know, an amazing, you know, all wins, or it's been some challenges, you're teaching the kids for 4 quarters,
Right.
which is, you know, we see that through the district, big deal. And, you know, we get to see a lot of different scenarios. So you're one of those coaches that it doesn't seem to matter to you whether you're up by 28 or you're down a TD or 2.
Right.
You're still teaching those kids. Is that a burning passion you have?
You know, it's just what we do. Our kids have we have expectations of our kids, and they have expectations of us. You know, we expect them to play hard for 48 minutes of a game. We expect them to come to a 2.5-hour practice and give us all 2.5 hours. And they have the same expectations for us. And if we're not fulfilling their expectations, then we're being short on them, and I'm not going to ever be short. So it's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. We're going to coach. We're going to coach them hard, and we tell them that. Both of these guys down here, they've been with us for 4 years now, and they'll tell you it doesn't matter what day it is. We're coaching them hard. That's just how it is.
Awesome.
Hey guys, well, how great is it to hear a coach and have a coach that you know is going to be able to push you guys to the absolute maximum every day, day in and day out, and not somebody that's just going to give up or let you get away easy on some of these things. You know, how helpful is that as a player as you're learning and progressing?
I'll say that I like being pushed to work hard, because that means that he cares, and it makes me want to care. And one of my coaches told me 5, 6, 7 years ago is when the coach stops yelling at you is when you have a problem. That's when he stops caring. But and I've never had that problem. They're always yelling at me.
Well said.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm the same way. I never had any coaches ever yell at me at all. 100%, everything was great. But Darren, man, tell me, like, what is it about football that gets you playing, get you out there in the hot sun? Because it's not easy work, man. It's hours and hours. I mean, you're talking plenty of them out in the sun and all those pads just to play a game that's gonna last, you know, an hour, 2 hours, something like that. What is it about football that gets you so fired up and keeps you playing, even through challenges like this?
What gets me fired up is me just wanting to play in general. Like, I love playing this game. I've been playing it ever since I was 5, and just to be at the varsity level and play it at high school and hopefully move on to a collegiate career. It's just that just gives me drive to keep going no matter what.
You know, one of those old gems of the coaching gems is, you know, you gotta have a memory of a goldfish. It said the goldfish, the happiest animal, because he has a 10-second memory. And so you guys go out here, you have a couple of games against tough opponents, and, you know, it doesn't quite go the way you want, but that's what you got to do in football, right? You got to forget about the past to kind of keep looking forward and working on your craft and just keep getting better. And then when you go out there Friday night, I know you guys are going to be pumped up. I know you guys are going to be ready to go out there and put your best foot forward. So I can't wait to see the game. It should be a good one, guys. To see some points go up on that board, shouldn't we, Coach Simon?
Yeah, it should be. And, you know, it's funny you say that, because we tell them the same thing. You know, we've got to have a short memory from play to play, from game to game. Each play is its own life, and we have to have a short memory, because that life's going to be gone and there's another one coming 40 seconds later. So, you know, it's just one of the things that we've got to get over, and they're learning it. You know, if we take care of each 40 seconds as it goes, the scoreboard will take care of itself.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, anybody, any last comments before we kind of close it, and then we'll be seeing you Friday? Anything you want to say?
No, I just we're so excited about football happening in the first place, but just the opportunity to have a 10-game season for these guys, it means everything. Every one of these seniors and even juniors and sophomores need all the film that they can get so they can make that step to the next level. And I'm just glad that our administration and the FHSA has given us the opportunity to do that. I know there's been a lot of people that have bent over backward for coaches and players, and you don't see that in a lot of other states. And I know it's a staple here, and there's a reason. It's because people care.
Yeah.
And it's big for us to be able to do that for these kids, though. So, to have a 10-game season, to have these kids work as hard as they are, it means everything to us.
Yeah, when you said that, it hit me that something that we've been saying to ourselves, which is, certainly the primary focus is, and it should be, the primary focus is on the football team, the coaches, the players, the staff you've got, the volunteers, but it riddles through the whole school and the district. And if that wasn't happening, the whole entire year has changed in reality. I mean, it hits everything. And I'm not hearing that on the TV networks. You hear it once in a while, but it riddles through every part of the school year. And I know last year, my son was a senior. So last year, I would say to my wife, my gosh, I feel bad for some of these kids. They're not getting, they're not getting this or they're not getting that. But my wife said, and she's correct, this year was going to be more of a challenge. It just didn't seem like that last year, but it is more of a challenge. So hats off to you guys, and hats off to the school district for keeping focused on getting this thing done. Cole, anything you want to add?
Yeah, you know what you talk about, and this is something I've been thinking a lot about too, Coach Simon, is being able to come out here. And I know you guys, Sean, Paul, and Darren, are going to contest to this, being able to put film out there because you have goals that you want to accomplish and go get that money, go get that scholarship and what you've been working towards. But a lot of these guys are either working to put film out there, and that's what they're so grateful for. But then everybody else is just working for those memories, man. All the other seniors, all the other juniors, they're actually getting an opportunity to go out there and create those memories that they're gonna last forever. Because I still remember all that, all those experiences you got under the lights. So for all the players, not only the college-bound ones, there are a lot of them, a lot of talent in Osceola, but man, everybody else on the roster that just gets to go out there and lace up the cleats and get out there. Hats off again to everybody involved in making the season happen. Like you said, Coach Simon, 10 games to go out there and enjoy yourself while you're in high school, man, that's huge. So hats off.
That was in opting out of the playoffs. That was our primary reason, and our reason was this way we know we're going to get a 10-game season.
Right.
We were lucky enough that we were able to put it together. Other people haven't been so lucky. And it wasn't like it was my decision. We met as a group. We met as a staff. We met as administration. We met with the seniors, and we were all on board. That was the most important thing to all of us, was these guys getting to play 10 games.
Yeah, man.
Let's make it as normal as we can. And, it'll sort itself out from there. But it was primarily for the kids. I wanted them to be able to play.
Well handled. Great.
So did you ever think you'd be playing the Soldier City Classic in December?
No, but let me tell you what, that's cool. I love it. And hopefully it's 50 degrees and it's almost snowing. And you never get to play in December. Even if you're in the state championship, you're hardly playing that late. So it's something cool. It'll be a lot of fun.
Y'all boys better break out the long sleeves.
So that would, if there was ever going to be a Soldier City Classic with the brass bugle filled with snow, it would be 2020.
Hey, it could be a snow cone. We'll do that. I'll talk to Brian. We'll do a snow cone.
That's right. Well, now. So it is, if I'm correct, and I should have went back and checked. So it's home for you this year.
It's home. Yeah, yep. We're at home. It's December 11th. And it should be a great one. We got two good football teams that are going to be going at it. So this will be a good one.
Yeah, they're always a blast.
Yeah.
All right. Unless you got something else you want to say, guys, let's I want to certainly thank Darren. Thanks, Sean, Paul, and Cole. I'll let you close it out, man.
Hey, we appreciate you guys, man, for coming on here. We're glad to be able to do this, and we're glad to be able to be out there on Friday nights. Can't wait. It's going to be exciting, guys. So we appreciate it, everybody. Hey, with everyone here, man, positively Osceola, we are making a positive difference in and around Osceola County.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Go Longhorns.
it.